Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It is me, Aaron, the average keto carnivore-ish guy, coming to you on Monday about nearing 6 o'clock or so. So it is Results Monday. I am happy to share my results with you this week. As always, thank you for checking out my videos, sharing them, asking questions, comments. I hope everyone had a great week last week. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. I worked, did a little... Did I do any umpiring? Yes, I did a little umpiring as well, so it wasn't too bad. You know, my daughter had a tournament, so we spent some time there over the weekend. Got bit up by the mosquitoes an awful lot. Not fun. On a positive note, I did put the batteries in the scale finally, so I'm back with my original scale. So out of curiosity, I did weigh in on both scales this morning just to see if they were accurate still, make sure they were still on tap, and I will show you those videos, those scale results in just a minute, and you determine if the two scales are correct or if they are different. Which one is the correct weight? We'll never know if they are different. But anyhow, as always, you know, this past week was a good, productive week. I got more games in. I definitely felt more active. I kept drinking my water, and no sodas. Nope. But no energy drinks, just some flavored waters here and there that have no sugar or anything like that in them. Made sure of that. And diet-wise, I thought I did really well. You know, I don't feel like I was eating as much this week again. Not snacking as much. So when I did eat, I ate more food, and I did uptake my eggs, which I think that helped fill me up a little bit more as the week went on. You know, the coffee, I probably honestly had a little bit more coffee this week than I did the previous week. Still not doing a pot a day, but definitely my ounces did go up, creeping back up there again. But still not anywhere near that was before. And I'm just using a little bit of cream and some cinnamon in there. I have occasionally put a little bit more stevia in, like a pack or two of stevia, just to get a little sweetness in there. But nothing bad, nothing horrible. Just sometimes you just need a little something in there to help get you through it. I did find online a good deal on some coffee, so I bought it and got it delivered. So I'm looking forward to trying some of those flavors. I'll be happy to share some of those maybe in a future video. I'll show you my collection of different flavored coffees that we have to make besides the K-Cups. And otherwise, you know, it's been a pretty basic week for eating. Nothing too special, nothing too, you know, nothing too fancy. Just, you know, stick with my beef, bacon, butter, cheese. Speaking of cheese, I did tell you guys that is a weakness of mine. I snack on a lot of cheese. I'm not going to be unrealistic and say I can give up cheese like I gave up pop and energy drinks. Not going to happen. But I am going to try and cut down. The first thing I'm going to do is, instead of using the shredded cheese like, you know, you get in the store in the packets, if you notice on the ingredients, it's not just cheese. There's like potato starch and all sorts of other stuff. So I'm going to start by trying to eliminate that for the week and just see if I feel any different. See if it makes me feel any better, or if I notice anything. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm just going to buy blocks of cheese, shred them up as needed. Maybe just try and not use it, or just use whole slices of cheese even. But definitely not going to be doing the packet cheese. Oh, someone's waving at me as I'm doing this video. Hi. She's probably thinking, what is he doing? But I think that's what I'm going to try this week to start cutting back on the cheese, is the shredded cheese. Not that I use a ton of it, so I'm not sure if it'll make much of a difference. But I would I'm definitely going to see what happens. And let's see how well I can be on it. Let's see if I can do it the right way or not. Hopefully I'll succeed with it. I've succeeded with everything else I told myself I was going to do so far. No sweets, no cheating. So yeah, that's good. I think I should also update my increase my butter in my meals to maybe feel a little bit fuller. Just something I'm thinking of maybe just focusing on a little bit this week with regards to that. So yeah, that's my diet right now. So, you know, I was thinking about this when I started doing these videos. The very first one I did, I sort of said, you know, why I'm making these videos, holding myself accountable. You know, I feel this is really helping. So I'm going to continue to do these videos and keep adding my shorts. I know I'm not getting as many views as I did before, but it's not about people, you know, it's not about the number of people viewing it. I'm not trying to get 100,000 followers and start making money off this. This is just me holding myself accountable. And if I can make the difference for one person watches one of these videos and says, wow, that's really working for him. What is he doing? Or maybe I can try that and I can see good results. That's fantastic. One person, that's it. You know, I would love if these videos were viewed and maybe more people made changes. And that's definitely, you know, that's great if it does. If it's one person's getting something out of any of these videos, anything that I'm doing, hey, that's great. That's why I say share these videos, like them, post them, do what you like. Because you never know. You might have a friend who was going through the same struggles as myself, you know, struggling with the ups and downs of weight loss, being a diabetic, things like that. And, you know, I'm really happy with my numbers so far over the last, 9-10 weeks almost. My CGM, I got the numbers into normal ranges now. And, my goal is to hopefully maybe by the end of the year, cut back on these medications and, maybe within the next year, be off of them again. But this time knowing I'm not going to fall into old habits. Again, never going to promise I don't cheat, but if I do, I just get back on the wagon, dust myself off. So, long way going short around that little portion here is I think what I'm going to do in one of my next videos, not my results video, but just do like a little bit of a history of myself, why I'm doing this, where I was, a little bit more in depth to my journey that has led me to being the average keto carnivore-ish guy. I think that might be helpful for people because I sort of went into it a little bit when I did my first video, but I think there's more that can be said, and maybe just more eye-opening things. I got nothing to hide. I got the way I was at one point, well over 300 pounds. I did that myself, and I tried doing it on myself to get back to normal weights, or what people would consider normal weight, and that didn't always work. So I needed to seek advice and guidance, and that's where I started following people like Dr. Fung, Dr. Barry, people like that, Carnivore Quest, Cooking Chris Nashville, people like that, just for different ideas and stuff. And there's so many other people that I've met along the way that have helped shape my mind and where I want to go, how I'm going to get there. So I'm definitely going to share that in a video. And Cindy, yes, I am more than happy if you're watching this to tell my story on your channel. We can definitely set that up. The more people out there, like I said, the more views, that helps my one person that I want to help along the way. So yeah, with that, let's go over some results. If we remember last week, I told you I had a feeling my weight was going to go up, and it did, 216. And I wasn't sure that week that I was going to lose. I was confident I was probably staying the same or gaining. Okay, so this week, then I focused on it a little bit more, and like I said, I felt more active. So, I was hoping for a loss. I was hoping for a, at least stay the same. I didn't want to see the scale go up, even though I said, gain or lose. I know I'm doing this for the right reasons. I know I'm still making the right choices, so my weight will be what it's at. But hey, anyone else who's ever done weight loss, for any type of diets, lifestyle changes, it's disheartening when you see the scale go the other way. And I stayed positive all week. I didn't sway from my what I was going to do. I was just simply dusting off. But you really don't want to see that scale go up 2 weeks in a row. You know how that is. So here are the two results. Somewhere around my fingers, they'll be up here somewhere. They'll show up. But isn't that fancy that I can at least get them there now? If I could just get them to show up like that, that'd be fantastic. Maybe I need a different app or a different program. But as you can see, the two scales, one has me in the 212s and one has me at 213. So we're looking at about a 3-pound weight loss on average. So if we just put those in the middle, and let's say we weighed 213. Should I go with the white scale or the black scale? Which scale should I use going forward? I'll take your suggestions. Of course, let's go with the one that says I weigh less. But, scales, and I did them one after the other this morning. So why they're a little bit off, no clue. Just different calibrations. Who knows? But still, that's, about a 3-pound loss either way we're looking at it. So we're back into the, over almost 22, 23 pounds lost along the journey these last 9, 10 weeks here. And hey, we're still pushing. I'm still not doing everything I need to do. I still need to find ways to get more active. Yeah, I'm busy. I work, I do umpiring, I want to do stuff with my kids. But I mean, active can be going for a 10-minute walk. It can be anything. And it could be taking out that push mower and pushing the huge yard instead of riding my riding lawnmower for, even if I did that maybe in a little bit of it, the front yard cut or part of the backyard. Just do the old push, and hey, it's exercise, and any movement's better than no movement. So we're about 10 minutes into this here today. So definitely, I want to again thank you guys all for watching this. I know this is a little bit longer video today. I'm gonna run into the store here. I'm gonna buy a few pork rinds here, because I kind of like those pork rind nachos when I made those. Just put a little cheese on it, put either a little ranch or a little sour cream, melt some cheese, beef, whatever I want to use. That pork that I made, that was really good a couple weeks back. I'll probably make some pork again sometime in the next few weeks. I'm usually the one who eats most of it. My daughter will eat some. And my son a little bit, and the wife a little bit. But yeah, again, thank you again. Appreciate everyone and their support. I will definitely put some videos out of what I'm eating this week. There's the cod liver, sardines. I still need to take the salami and put that on the bottom of a pan, put some wire racks above it, put some bacon on top of that, and let that bake so the bacon gets crispy and bakes. The fat drips down to the salami or pepperoni, whatever you want to use, and basically bakes it right in the bacon fat. Oh my gosh, that is such a good snack. I actually did a bunch of air fryers I put up there in the video earlier in the week. Air fried slices of pepperoni for a little snack. Some of them were a little bit more crispier, some of them weren't. But hey, that was a nice simple snack, easy to go anytime you want it. So something a little bit crispy, not just instead of just eating a little piece of pepperoni. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great week. As always, do something nice for someone. Say hi, give someone a smile that, maybe you never know, that smile could go a long way. Go Bills, go Sabres, go Bandits, go Yankees. For your sports teams, go for your sports teams as well. I'm not one who's going to root against your team just to root against them, unless they're playing my team, of course. But as always, thank you again. This is Aaron, the average keto carnivore-ish guy. Good night.